Welcome to the Just Josh podcast.
Who the fuck is this guy? Hey, who the fuck are you? Huh? Who the fuck are you?
This whole thing's a little weird.
Never you fear, laddie buck.
Welcome into the podcast. Today we got the boys of Cydeways. We got Dustin, Jeremy, and Casey in. Well, I was about to say in studio, but I guess it's not really in studio anymore these days. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. Yeah, really good to have you in here. How is this stuff affecting you guys over in California?
Things are they're loosening up a little bit now. It was the same for everybody for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Everything shut down, everything closed. But we got like some restaurants opening up, some bars. You can go out and like kind of see your friends now.
Yeah, it's coming back to normal a little bit.
Everybody looks a little bit older and like kind of haggard.
Have you noticed people following the quote unquote rules? Like, are you seeing people wearing masks and stuff like that, or just it's not that big a deal?
Yeah,
For the most part,
yeah. Especially in Santa Barbara, you like have to wear one to get in any store or anything.
Yeah.
They're definitely pretty strict.
When I go out, I choose to wear a mask just in case.
Yeah, exactly. Like whenever I'm in a store and I see someone not have a mask, I'm like, put your fucking mask on, you idiot. Like, you just people around you.
It's for the other people.
Yeah.
There's been too many times where I park in the back of the lot and leave it in my car. Ah, shit, now I gotta walk all the way back. Yeah, Jeremy hangs his from the mirror. I think that's.
Oh, see, that's very smart.
Smartest play.
Yeah, no, that's good. Then you won't forget it. It's right there in the open. Plus, hopefully, you encourage other people to use one as well. But Dustin, I know you're from Boston, and then you moved out to Santa Barbara. So talk about a little bit about you moving and how you kind of started the band.
Yeah, like you said, originally started in Boston with my two buddies, Trevor and Dana, who are our two producers. And
Shout out to Dana.
Shout out to the boys. I went to college for about a year back in New Hampshire, and me, Trevor, and Dana would just send music back and forth to my dorm room and all that. And I just fucking hated school.
Mm-hmm.
I never went to class because I was just kind of working on music. So I pretty much decided to drop out and just went to California. I thought California was kind of the place to do anything, kind of like to music or if you want to be an actor or anything like that. I always thought it was a place to be. So I went to LA first, just by myself, just packed up and moved. And then I ended up in Santa Barbara, I think like 6 months later.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I lived here for a bit. The first guy I met was Jeremy. We jammed at some random house together. And then I asked him, he's like, hey, do you want to keep playing? So we kept playing. We did a bunch of acoustic shows together, just kind of looking for other members. We did like some Isla Vista parties, which is the college town here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went through a few different people. We went through a couple drummers, a couple bass players, and then we eventually found Casey and Ryan, which is the full lineup right now.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And I think actually one of the first things I ever saw was your Blink cover, which I thought was awesome because go ahead.
Everybody loves that one. It's funny.
Well, I think the harmonies are good melody, pretty good pocket for, and I love the acoustic because, I don't know, it's just different. It's hard to, actually, I have it right here. Let's see if we can play this.
Yeah, right on.
Might be a little loud, but for the audience out there, this is the first thing I saw from you guys.
He pauses shaving and he tells himself that he is the bomb. She has her curler set, credit cards are paying the fun. He's not that old, I've been told, a strong sexual goal. They go out every day, she goes every way, oh yeah. And they don't even care at all.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's some good stuff. Go ahead.
And it's like cool how like the way we did it obviously is so much different than
The funny thing is like they started as kind of a joke because like we would mess around with playing the songs like Blink does at like in practice. And then
Right.
Just, you know, like in between songs, we would just like kind of start playing them like as a joke,
Yeah.
you know, like super
Mhm.
acoustic. Now it's got to the point where we like them so much that we do like, you know, 3 or 4 Blink songs like that. We
Yeah.
do like some Sum 41, like all these like little pop punk covers, but we do them like stripped down and acoustic.
Yeah.
It's just become this whole thing that we put in like every acoustic show we have. We play a bunch of them.
We can pretty much cover all these pop punk songs and just strip them down, and it's like way more fun than our music.
Yeah. That I tried to move out of the way for you, but that Blink shirt right here,
Oh yeah.
it's from like 97. I have the ticket stubs with them. So all these shirts are from like I'd say like 2000 or like 93 through like 2003. So like that 10-year span when I was like 8 or 9, my dad taking me to concerts till I was like a teen. And so this wall is pretty memorable to me and like means a lot just because I've gotten to go to so many cool shows, and this is only obviously like a handful.
T-shirts that you framed, is that what they are?
Yeah, so they're t-shirts. So they have like these t-shirt frames, and then I put the ticket that went with that show that I got it at.
Yeah, you got
super
Linkin
cool.
Park over there too.
No country shirts or anything like that.
So I like all types of music, and that's actually why we kind of changed our name, because our original name sounded very reggae-ish, even though it wasn't meant to be. So I love all types of music, and I'd love to work with any artist as long as it's like, you know, has a good product and they're good people. But what was the question? Fuck, I just smoked while you were talking before, Dustin. And
I was just making a country shirts up there. I don't know. We're not like huge on country over here.
oh,
either.
country, that's what we were talking about. Yeah. So no country. But my point of that blabber, because I'm high, was I like all types of music, but no, I don't have any country, and I have nothing against country. It's just I don't know.
You know, we're definitely like we started with reggae and like we're in like the reggae community, but we like to branch out any way we can. If we like something, we'll play it, and if we like a certain style of music, you know, we'll listen to it and see what we can take from it and use ourselves. You know, we're not like locked into anything right now.
No,
like
go
our
ahead.
new record coming out, it's like there's definitely some hints of reggae in it. It's like very alternative. Like it's different than just your average like Revolution or Soja, all those bands. We definitely going like alternative route.
Yeah, we're not really like, we don't do too much one drop or, you know, steppas or anything like that. Which kind of gets weird because sometimes we'll get booked on these hardcore reggae shows, you know, just in Santa Barbara where it's all these,
Right.
you know, like jam bands and stuff like that. And then it's us coming out, you know, doing Mutt live and stuff like that. And sometimes people aren't really about it, stuff like that. Or people really like it, you know, it can go either way.
Yeah, so what I was gonna say is that's what kind of turned me on to you guys, because I saw I was like they're on Law, which makes sense because Pepper's different, kind of like Ballyhoo, that kind of field of bands as opposed to like the jaw reggae, you know. But yeah, that's what turned me on to you guys, because it's some of my favorite music, obviously from what I grew up on, and it was like refreshing. And I've always hoped that, you know, music would kind of go in cycles where some of that stuff is going to come back. And even if it's not like full on pop punk or anything like that, at least it's kind of incorporating different influences, you know, back into different scenes. So you guys have always had that. And yeah, I was going to say your new album and some of the singles that I've been hearing are very alternative. Not reggae at all.
There's always a hint of reggae in there, which
Of course.
I think definitely moving like very alternative rock kind of area.
And even with pop punk, you know, we don't want any of our songs to sound like pop punk songs from the 90s because, you know, it's old news at this point. But if we
Right.
can take it from there and put it into our music now and make it sound, you know, good enough, then that's what we'll try to do. Just, you know, see if we can find anything.
Yeah. And then, so Law kind of came about after you moved out here. I think I read that your boy, I forget which one, in Iration, and I should know his name too, kind of mentioned you to Yasad at one point, and then he finally reached out.
Yeah. So it was Joe D, plays drums for Iration.
Right.
And,
Okay. Joe D. Yep.
I lived here for a few years, but me and him kind of became buddies just through like the area with playing shows and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of never really told him I played music, but we were just buddies. And then eventually I was like sitting on these 2 songs where we were. And I was like, hey, dude, I have these 2 songs. Like, what are the chances you can like shoot him over to Yasad, like just like throwing it out there? And he's like, oh yeah, I'll do that right now. And then like Yasad hit me back, I think a week or so later. So it's kind of like, what the fuck? That seemed like too good to be true. But Yasad just liked the two songs so much that he was like, dude, who the fuck are these guys? Like, send them down to Hermosa, I'll meet them right away. So it was super cool.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I first met Yasad officially on the first 311 cruise. We had mutual friends at the time, Diana and Anthony. I don't know if they're still together, but I still see Diana on there every once in a while. And they would stay at their place when they came through Florida. We're good friends. So I actually got to hang out with him on the first one, and I was wearing a Ballyhoo hoodie at the time. And Yasad was like, nice hoodie. I said, yeah, I'm from Maryland. I'm a big fan of them, and I know they're doing a record because this was around Daydreams, or either Daydreams was about to come out or it had just come out, one of the two around that time. And yeah, no, that was cool. And he was such a nice guy. And all of them are super nice every time I've met them. And it's just, it says a lot about the type of people they are, and you can tell by the type of bands that they have on the label too, you know? Because all those bands are just great guys.
They really are. Everybody from Law Records has been like super like warm and welcoming like since we got on there. You know, people who we haven't even met are shouting us out. And I guess it's been a little over a year now, or maybe like a year and a half. But everybody's been super nice and supportive.
Yep. Yeah, I think it goes down to just the Pepper guys are just the raddest dudes ever.
That's where it comes from.
They just like they have like no heavy ego or anything. They're just the coolest fucking dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they really set the standard of like what it takes to be a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much cooler than them for sure. I mean, they were a big part of me passing college. I probably wouldn't have my degree if it wasn't for like late night smoke sessions listening to Pepper while I'm studying, you know? So going forward, do you guys have any things that you're planning as far as the band because of the coronavirus? So are you guys planning online stuff? Are you looking forward to maybe setting stuff up early next year even?
I think as far as live shows go, we're kind of on hold at the moment because at our level, you know,
right,
a lot of things happen pretty close to when the show happens. Things kind of go last minute, but we do have a few videos from this Live from Conatown series that we did down at the studio in Hermosa or Redondo.
Right.
And we're releasing those a little quicker now because we know no one's really doing anything. Yeah, we got a couple up on the Instagram.
Is that this it right here? Oh, yep. Are You Down?
Are You Down? Yeah, we're doing our album that we just dropped a few months ago. Doing like a little live version.
Yeah, it's dope. It's like it's a whole series. Pepper's doing a couple videos from the studio. I think tomorrow Through the Roots is doing some of the bands on Law Records are doing this whole Live from Conatown thing.
Yeah,
so
super cool.
Yeah, we were fortunate to have Dane. He does some of the Iration film stuff. He came down and shot it and edited it and all that stuff. So really stoked on how it's coming out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then other than that, I think we're planning on doing just acoustic videos. I think like weekly we talked about.
Yes.
Live stream stuff. We're gonna partner up with a clothing company for the acoustic videos, which is really cool. And yeah, honestly, like as bad as the shit is, it's great for studio time because we've just busted out like pretty much a rough draft of our next album like during this time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, on one hand, it's like you got to think about the future, and it's always good to look big picture. At the same time, right now, because everything going on, you've probably had more time on your hands to actually get some of the stuff that you normally wouldn't have time to do. So that's probably been actually kind of helpful, at least for a band like where you guys are at and what you guys are doing at the moment.
Yeah, that's great. So we've been working hard on our kind of like our debut album with Law. So this time's been like awesome for us. Unfortunately, we had a little tour that was going to happen next month that got postponed. But like I said, the bright side of it is we rip out an album real quick.
Yeah, because time is money. So all the time that you're spending on the album is eventually going to be money in your pocket. So it's definitely good.
That's what we're banking on is eventually things will go back to normal.
Yeah.
However, it's to happen.
So every time I've been out to California, I feel like I've gone to a different dispensary, and every time I've gone, because it's been like years in between or maybe like a couple months, there's always different rules. I feel like it was easier to get weed a long time ago. Then they got super strict, and now it's like back to like wherever. And I live in Maryland, so that's the last place you would think has good weed, but we actually have really, really good weed here.
You guys have a bunch of dispensaries too there?
I do.
You know, before we had like the full band together, we used to play shows at like kind of like marijuana little trade show things.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
We would get paid in bags like that. It would just be full of weed and like wax and like pre-rolled joints and shit. So that's what before we were getting paid to play music, we were getting paid in weed.
Yeah, it was in these like big warehouses down in was it Costa Mesa?
I think Hermosa was one
around
of them,
Hermosa, and like just this massive warehouse of just vendors, and like everybody's just dabbing. And
dude, it was fucked up because we like would try not to smoke before the show because you know we don't really like playing like super high or anything, but play an hour-long set and there's just smoke in this room. So by the end of the set, you're so high and you're like, "What happened?"
Yeah,
you just realize it while you're
smoke anything, but I'm fucking tripping out.
Inhaling all these dabs, like start forgetting words and shit. Yeah. But they're fun. They're super fun. I think it was the owner. It was Moy from Tomorrow's Bad Seeds. He owned the warehouse.
Oh, okay, yeah. Love that guy. Great dudes. I met him on Warped Tour, and their set crushed it.
Yeah, they put on a great live show.
Yeah, I started to pull out. I had Sitting Bull. I don't want to take too much time on this, stupid. But what I've been getting into, though, is the live resin has been great. They have all these live resins. So I have the lemon hash diesel, Tropicana cookies, and papaya sorbet.
It's like actual resin.
Well, yeah, what's a live?
Yeah, so
when I think of resin, I think of like my 50-year-old self, like ripping a bowl trying to get anything.
Oh yeah, no, me too. That's why my friend told me, he's like, "Yo, I got some resin, and it was something like $120 for a gram." I was like, "Wait, what? You want me to smoke like your leftovers for $120? I don't know if I'm down with that." But apparently, live resin. Let's see.
I'm sure it's much better than what I was smoking.
So live resin is a cannabis concentrate that gets its name from the freshness of the cannabis plant from which it's made. Products extracted using the live resin process, flash freezing the cannabis plant material and extract, are associated with high quality and flavorful concentrate. So yeah, it's basically like a higher quality distillate. So you're basically getting the most pure form, that you can of the THC and stuff.
Exact opposite. The resin you scrape.
Yeah, exactly. Shout
out
to
resin. Yeah. They do the whole time.
I remember the first time probably wasn't the first time I got caught with weed when I was in high school. But my dad, I guess, I don't know what I was doing, and some guy, like, I went to a private school, somebody sold me like some hash or something. It was probably bullshit anyway. I never even smoked it, just sitting there, but I just bought it because it was like $15-20 or whatever, and I was trying to like be cool and do whatever. And my dad found it, and he got so mad, and he was like, "I found this hashish in your car," and blah blah blah. And I was like, "What's a hashish? I don't even know what that is." Like, is that? But yeah. So go ahead.
Smoking the pot.
Yeah.
Smoking the marijuana. I think he called it dope back then. He was like, "I found this dope in your car." I'm like, "You mean weed or the marijuana?"
Yeah, you don't get it, pops.
Well, my dad's always been for it, and he's cool. I don't think he smokes, but he understands, and he knows that I use it. Actually, what I started to say is that as I get older, it's less about how much THC is in it, and it's about the balance of CBD and THC in it. I'm actually getting some of these plants and some of these CBD carts that are just mostly CBD, just for my back pain, stuff like that. So yeah, it's been great as far as medically. It's just, like everyone else, I like getting high when I was younger, but it's definitely different for me now,
I'm the same way. Like I can't even smoke this really good weed anymore.
I get too high.
My head, and I'm like, think about something I did like in 5th grade.
I mean,
I'm doing the half and half, like the CBD to THC.
Yes.
This powerful weed.
Yeah, I mean, CBD's done wonders, and I finally kind of got my mom on it too. For a long time, I think there was this, they had the stigma, my mom and dad, that, oh, CBD, it's weed, when it's not. It's just the good parts of all that, and why most people smoke weed. But yeah, no, we have good weed here and live resin. So I have all these things lined up. But California's always had some great price. It's expensive though, man. I'm paying like high school prices, like when I got on the black market.
Crazy.
Like a half gram of carts, I don't know what they are out there, but a half gram cart can be anywhere from like $60 to $90.
That's great. I just bought a gram one for I think it was like 60.
Like 60?
Yeah, it's like around 60.
Yeah, that's what it should be for a good quality one that's not going to leak, like not the black market. I used to get it off the black market all the time, but you just don't know what's in it anymore. And all those like reports of like whatever that one chemical or whatever that one thing was in there that was like putting holes in your thing. And obviously, smoking in general isn't the best for your health, but I mean, smoking medically, marijuana, and other things I think are fine, But
I'm a
yeah.
big pens. That's like kind of what I smoke a lot. It's just those pens with the cartridges. Those are my favorite.
It's just easier these days too because it's okay. I can take that on an airplane, no problem. Put some carts in my book bag, and not even before I have to like wrap up an ounce and like do all this crazy shit on the road. Stick it in my check on just to be safe. Try and mail it to myself.
Yeah, if you're like smoking like on the street or in a park, you still kind of like look over your shoulder. It's just like,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's why with the pens it's no problem. As long as you act nonchalant and it's like you're smoking a vape pen or nicotine, it's not a problem.
Which is awesome. I didn't know you can bring it like in your carry on an airplane.
Well, you're not supposed to. I'm sure you could still get in trouble. I when I say that, I don't recommend people doing that.
But I don't think you're gonna get kind of. It's kind of like
I think they have more.
You might have been lying.
Yeah, I think I apologize because the way the Zoom set up, anytime someone starts to talk or maybe the host starts to talk, it cuts out the other people. So I got to figure out how to do that so people can hear you better. But it's not the same. Yeah,
Definitely not.
I think.
No, go on.
Sorry. I'm still getting used to Zoom, man. There's always that delay. It's always going to be a little awkward. That's why I hope once all this starts to open up and you guys get east that you can come into studio. We can hang out at the table and kind of do the face-to-face, have you guys do like a performance and stuff too. But go ahead.
Yeah.
My only issue with the pens, I don't know, maybe it's just me, is I find I like rip them too casually. Where if I'm driving, I'll rip it like it's a vape, and I'm just kind of smoking. And then 40 minutes down the road, I'm like too high to drive and I got to pull over because I've just been, smoking this thing, not really thinking about it. But if you have a bong, like, all right, 2 bong rips or whatever, go. But the pens can creep up on you.
Dangerous.
Yeah, they could get dangerous.
I leave it right next to my bed.
Yeah, I guess you can't take it in the car.
Yeah, no, I definitely, you forget, and with the live resin too, I forget that, just taking a small hit will be fine. It'll last me like 5 hours, no joke. But then, yeah, I'll hit it like it's a bong. I actually got my bong right here. You guys have anything handy or no?
Not on us right now.
It sucks. If you were here, I could just pass it to you.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
I've been doing some smoke breaks. We'll take a smoke break and just smoke together. But since you don't have anything available, I think it was funny we were talking earlier before we started recording that being in California, when I was on the road with Ballyhoo, I think the most surprising thing people came up and they found out, like, they thought that the guys were from either California or Florida. And you guys are from California. So I think some people probably assume that you surf and stuff like that, but you don't really surf, right? You guys are into golf and other things like that and like sports.
Yeah, nerdy stuff.
Yeah, I can't surf. I've tried it like once. I think.
I've tried it a couple times.
Yeah, I can kind of do it, but I didn't like grow up on the ocean, so I'm just like not super comfortable like with just like my legs dangling.
I think it's just what people think about California, from other states, is you think the entire state of California is just a huge coastline or like a huge beach, and it's really not like that. I mean, Casey and I, we're from here, but I think we were probably 45 an hour away from the ocean. And I guess if you're from like Iowa or something, it doesn't seem like that much, but even to us, am I going to go all the way over there?
Yeah,
especially California traffic. It could take like an hour and a half to get. before we moved up to Santa Barbara.
Now it's too late.
Yeah.
Now it's too late. There's like these little 11-year-old kids that just rip.
Yeah.
Like, what am I?
Oh
even-
yeah.
Like, what the fuck is the point?
I would just look like the biggest jackass. It's definitely old.
Look like a
some
fucking
kook.
seal trying to paddle on the
Yeah.
thing.
So we don't have the best waves over here. We have some surfing, in Ocean City, but the big thing is snowboarding. So just like you're saying, I'll be riding the lift up the mountain, and I'll look over into the snow park, and I'll see literally like this 8-year-old kid. He can't be taller than like 3 feet, and there's this little mini ramp, and I see him like go really slow, and then I'm like, oh, that kid's so cute, man. He's about to just like jump. I think he's just gonna do a regular jump. Kid winds up, does like a backflip off this little ramp. It couldn't have been more than a foot tall. I'm like, holy crap, man. I had a long way to go.
I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the lodge and have a fucking beer.
Yeah.
From Boston though, I actually did grow up snowboarding. I grew up my whole life.
I snowboarded a fair amount too, going up to like Lake Tahoe, like Sugar Bowl, and North Star up here in California. That's never made it in the water. But on land.
So I love golf. I've actually, is Pebble Beach where the Masters at out in California?
I think so. Up in Monterey.
Monterey. So I went there and for Cali Roots, and I stayed at La Quinta in Monterey, and it had the path, and it was cool because I could go down the whole path, and you can go up the other way, and then Cali Roots was like 2 miles away. Well, one night I was looking for weed, so I went out. I figured the best person to ask would be the front desk guy, and I went up to the front desk, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm looking for some weed. Is there any places I can get it?" And he's like, "Actually, are you here for the reggae festival?" He's like, "I'm going too. I actually get off in a little bit. I can take you and go get some weed and stuff." I'm like, "Okay, dope." And then he was like. But then he started asking me if I needed other shit like horrors or like cocaine and stuff like that. And I was like, nah, just the weed's good. Just the weed's good. But I went out and so we met up and he's like, I told him I golf and stuff. And he's like, that's cool. And he showed me where the Pebble Beach and he told me to take the bus. So as I was taking the bus or something else, I met a guy that was in for a golf conference and he has access to Pebble Beach. So we went on legally, obviously. I mean, it was legal in the sense of like he was allowed there, but we probably weren't supposed to be playing or anything like that. And it's crazy, the houses and just driving around, even that whole thing. But anyway, we got to go on there, and we went on, just acted like we were supposed to be there, played a hole, and left. But it was cool that I got to go on there, yeah. And I'm surprised we didn't get yelled at.
That's awesome. I would love
Just
to,
act like you belong.
love to play.
Yeah.
We got some nice courses here in Santa Barbara as well. We golf a fair amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. All we can afford is 9 holes though, so we just kind of play Goleta 9 holes.
Yeah, we have this really nice course called Sandpiper that's on the beach. The whole thing's on the cliff on the beach, and it's super nice. But we've only played there like once because it's probably $150 to play a day. So
Yeah, I think we had a gift card or something like that.
but it's nice.
No, yeah, I can't afford it. It's expensive. And the first clubs I ever got, the problem is I'm not that tall. I'm like 5'8" on a good day. And I got these clubs from my friend's dad, and he was probably 6'3" or something. And I know it's all about your hold and stuff like that too, but these are just way too, like, I can't drive. I'm pretty good at, everything else, but I can't drive with shit. It always curves. And I blame it on, even though it's really me. I blame it on the club being way too long and me having to like stick my ass out and hold it right and like actually like interlock my fingers and get the stance right. It's just too long. I can't do it. So I need to go get custom. But my first ones only cost me like $100, but they're a pretty nice set because it was my friend's dad and they're rich. So I guess he got a set of clubs, like a medium, like a mid-range set of clubs. And then a year later, he got a super nice set, custom made. And I guess he's rich. So he's like, here, you can take them for $100. So I got those and that's what I played with forever.
That's what we're trying to get. Is just a hand-me-down.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we use like some Goodwill clubs, like
Yeah, it's kind of something similar. It was like my buddy's old set before his dad got him a set for Christmas. So it's like, yeah, I think the driver is a little bit bigger. Some of the irons are for like a high school body, and we share one bag and stuff. We kind of ragtag it.
We kind of stick out like a sore thumb when we go to the course because we have like just one bag. We're just in like gym shorts and t-shirts, and everybody else is like in all the golf attire, and we got the gloves and everything,
Yeah.
all the get up.
But
It's still fun.
our passions there.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
we can still play pretty well too, so it's a good time.
It's just nicer when you can like hit the course and like smoke a joint, drink a few beers. Like,
Right.
It's supposed to be like a good time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I am with golfing and poker, where I like to play and I like to have a good time. But anytime I'm with people on the golf course, half the time they're like really competitive. And even though, and I tell them ahead of time, I'm playing for fun. So it's really, my ADHD only goes so far to where I can actually sit here and try to be competitive with you. So for me, and then I feel like I'm ruining their game because they're trying to be serious about it. And I just want to, like you said, smoke a joint, have a couple beers. And then same thing with poker. I hate playing it in public. I like to just do it at home because people get too super into it and then it ruins it for me. And then I feel like I'm ruining it for them,
Yeah, totally. I mean, like Jeremy said, like we'll smoke and drink. Like we have like a speaker playing in our golf cart. Like we just like to have a good time and hang out.
I bartended when I was off tour because it's really the only job that allowed me to pick up some shifts and then go on tour for a month. Are you guys in the service industry at all? And with all this going on, it's funny because if that was even your job or something you could rely on, you can't anymore because there's so many different, things going on. Not every restaurant is open. A lot of them are only to go, etc.
Yeah, I'm a bartender. It is kind of like the perfect job to tour because you can leave and come back. It's kind of one of the only jobs you can do like that. I know Casey, he's the substitute teacher, so he just makes his own schedule and that just works perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, COVID shut everything down.
Yeah.
Luckily, we picked up unemployment. So that was.
Woo woo.
Unemployment.
Well, it's funny because I was seeing all these complaints and people are like, oh, they're getting money. They're getting paid more than they would have to stay home. But like, so why do they even get this, But they don't understand that, like, it's not an option. So it's not like I can go pick up a tour to make money. It's not like I can go get a bartending job. And I would be making 10 times more money if I was able to work for a band or even help manage a band, with income, But I'd be taking their money at this point. Like, I just refuse. I can't. I had 2 bands that I was working with under contract when all this went down, and I just released them from the contract. Even though we're still working together, I was like, I didn't even want them to think there was a chance I would come after them for the money. So I ripped up their contract. I'm like, we're still working together, and I'll do whatever we need to do to plan ahead and to make sure we get this, but this way you don't even have to worry about it. Have you guys kind of had to like readjust some of the things you're doing as well?
That's rad. I mean, what do you guys say?
As far as reinvesting,
Well, yeah, I mean, we're definitely
Well, like
not
even business wise or just your thought process and how you're going to bring in money as a band.
we're lucky that we're getting unemployment from like our other jobs that aren't music because
Mhm.
all the money we made from music has definitely been cut off. We're not at the point where we're going to get unemployment checks from the government. Everything that we do is a bar gig or like a small club. It's under the table. There's no W-2s or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
IRS isn't listening, but
and really all the money we made from music went right back into the band, so we were kind of relying on our jobs to like help us pay for the rent, even pay for the music and stuff, because any money we make on a show we pay for like a film guy or like gas and
Right.
whatever.
Pocket it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people understand how difficult it is to tour. How expensive, and even if you're a band that's having these opportunities, let's say a bigger band, a band drops out for like half of a tour, and then you need another band. Like, do you have $1,000, $1,200 just to go cross country and just to get there, and then make it through the tour and possibly not get paid till after? There's so many different things that I don't think people realize go into touring. And even I was a little naive to it before I actually started getting to work for bands.
yeah, before you do it, it's all you got rose-colored glasses about it, and it seems like a great time. But sometimes you even lose money on the tour, and you say like, "Oh, we're doing it for exposure. We're doing it for experience." It's you can't fill out your tax return for exposure.
Yeah, no. It's good with us. So I know there's a lot of bands that like you ask them to play a show and they're like only gonna play for money. Like with us, we usually will take that fucking gig for free. Just like any tour, if we have to pay out of pocket, like a lot of people aren't. Which is, I think, it's just the smartest way. And like Casey said, like if we make $200 on a show, we're not gonna like just split that up evenly. We're gonna throw that into a photographer, or filmer, or a sound guy to just make us look good and sound good. I think that's like the smart way to go about it.
That's where having another job kind of comes into play, and we're lucky to have jobs that you can kind of make your own schedule and move it around a little bit. It doesn't really work if you have a 9 to 5 and you got to put in vacation. So it's nice being in the restaurant industry a little bit, because also even at the the restaurants we work at here in town, we're like the hometown kids. They're like, you get a tour, like, oh, go ahead guys, I hope you make it big. We're behind you.
Yeah.
Nice, we're lucky.
Yeah. You have the best setup and backdrop I've seen on any one of these.
We have our laundry room.
This looks nice.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and it's funny. I wish I could show you all this side too, but it's the same thing on the other side. So there's like all this different stuff up. So hopefully we can get you guys in the studio soon and actually be able to sit face to face. Because I have right now, there's a couch, but I'm thinking about getting like a big table and putting it where you got the one camera so you can see all of us, and then the individual cameras on everyone. I feel like all humans should be handy in general. Like, I look at myself and I look at my degrees and stuff, and I'm like, I should be able to change my own oil, And even if I don't know how, I should be able to look it up on YouTube, or I should be able to do all these other things that, like, build a bench. I should be able to fucking build a bench.
Yeah, we should be able to. I don't think I could.
Yeah, I'm like awful.
Come on, we can put our minds to it.
Me and Jared built a beer dye table, and the middle of this thing is like a canoe. It's like a U shape or something.
Yeah, I can't even build a cornhole set, let alone a bench or anything else.
That's why they're charging you $6,000 for a table.
We have another roommate. Anything that goes wrong in our house, we're all like, we gotta ask Shane.
That's the guy you want to have in the house.
All of us are just awful.
Yeah.
He's like the handyman of the group.
Gotta have a handyman.
The wash machine's broken. Shane's on it. He'll fix it.
Yeah. Leaky faucet. Get him on the horn.
Yeah, we're brutal. I can't fix anything.
Are you guys into aliens or anything like that?
I don't know, man. I've been reading like a lot that they're kind of just being discovered right now. Obviously with Tom DeLonge from Blink-182, but are like they like admitting it that they're real right now?
Yeah, so it's been around, but like it's the first time that an official government entity, the Navy, and etc., have acknowledged that it is, which is, on one hand, I feel like it's not new, but it is new because no one's ever done that before.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's wild.
And there's that they discovered some universe where time goes backwards or something. What? Did you hear about that? I swear, it's like
you read that on Yelp.
Maybe it's some Facebook news article from the. Let me look it up here.
I was gonna say that might be like a social media thing.
It's possible. Everything you read on Facebook is true.
But the thing is, it's not that far fetched because if you think about what space is, and it's time, and you can take it, and it's been proven scientifically that you can fold over things. Now we don't have the technology to do this, but it's black holes and all that stuff is a real thing. Yeah, Tom DeLonge was not crazy. Now he's still probably crazy, but what he said he was doing, and a lot of the things that he said were true, ended up being true. So,
I mean, it's insane to go from, like, I mean, he always believed it. Obviously, he had that song "Aliens Exist" with probably like 1999 or something.
Right? Yeah.
Insane.
No matter how true it is, though, I'm always gonna think you've got to be crazy to leave Blink-182 to go look for aliens. Like, how do you just walk away from being in the sickest band?
My short conspiracy theory is that when Roswell happened, it wasn't alien; it was actually German, and the Germans had gotten a hold of advanced technology. And at the time, being the 60s or 50s, late 50s, whenever it happened, or 40s, I guess even, the government was like, wait, this is way beyond anything we know about. So they didn't know what it was to begin with, human or not. And then after they got a hold of it and did all the stuff, they figured out it was German. And so in order to kind of hide things, they made up all the alien stuff and different things to a degree. And there is aliens out there, and there are, but I think at that point, that's kind of one of the things that they did. That also explains why they brought, as soon as the war ended, they started bringing all the German scientists over to NASA, because they are the ones that actually originally found the technology. And so I think that's what ended the war, is that U.S. was like, okay, well, we have this from you and we have this. So let's just end it. And because they found a common enemy, they were like, wait, this was you guys? Where did you find this? And well, we got it from here. And they're like, oh shit, man, we're screwed. So they ended the war. They brought the Germans over. And I feel like the same kind of thing happened with the moon landing. It wasn't fake, the conspiracy theories of, it was like set up in the studio and stuff. I actually think that they actually landed there. But when they got there, they either saw something that they were like, oh, we can't tell the people. Otherwise, they're going to go insane. Like, think about COVID. I couldn't find toilet paper for like 3 weeks. A legit source. Imagine if they're like, okay, well, there are aliens out there. They're not necessarily here to hurt us. At the same time, we don't mean shit to them. And if they wanted to, they could kill us all in a heartbeat. You don't think people would start raiding gun stores, all the left side would be like, well, we need to sign a peace treaty and try and reach out to them and set up laws. And then the right side are going to be like, no, we need to kill them. We need to nuke them and get rid of these aliens and all this other stuff. And it would just become political. And then toilet paper would be gone again.
Yeah, I would actually stock up on toilet paper if I heard aliens were going to...
That's the first thing we're going to do.
Yeah.
If anything goes, if it goes further than what it is right now, then the real toilet paper shortage is going to start.
I just wish they would come down and be like, look, this is the history of your Earth. There have been many civilizations before you wiped out by catastrophic things, way farther advanced than you. We used to be able to talk to each other. Now it's taken us 100 light years just to get back to Earth because you guys screwed it up. And yes, you've been killing the Earth. And yes, this does this. And yes, this does that. I guarantee we would still, as humans, find a way to fuck it up and start like fighting with each other. Yeah.
Someone would say that it was Jesus all along. You can't imagine what people would do.
I definitely struggle with my mom being very religious and me knowing that it's aliens. So I don't want to like damper her shit, but it's aliens.
Tom was right, man. Tom was right.
Did you see the interview with him and Joe Rogan?
I didn't actually. I've been meaning to watch that one.
So in a nutshell, Joe Rogan's watching it with him, and he's pretending to like be into it and like, oh yeah, that's really. But the whole time he's really like making fun of Tom, and then like rolling his eyes in the background and like pretending to be interested and asking these kind of like not offensive but dumb questions that he's doing just to make Tom sound stupid. And then but the whole time he's being really nice to Tom's face, Then later on, like maybe later that year, they had Travis Barker in, and the whole time Joe Rogan's just talking shit. Just like just talking to Travis Barker. And he's like, yeah, so we had Tom in here, and he's like showing me all this fake shit, and the whole time I'm just thinking, dude, you're insane. And I was like, I don't know, my podcast, I would never do anything to get a rile or talk shit about people. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I want the podcast to be about. And I know Joe Rogan has certain stances, or a lot of these podcasts either have a niche or like something that they're like specific to, like, oh, murder investigations or reggae music or whatever, mine's more general like that. I find it's just weird to me, that he would have one guest. Like, I don't have the ability. I guess my point is, I am not on Joe Rogan's level where I have the ability to have you guys in and then like have Yasad on next week and talk shit about you guys. Like, dude, why the hell did you sign Cydeways? Like, those guys are pieces of shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, that's brutal. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I can't believe you did that, honestly.
Yeah, and I guess I bring that up also because I'm in a couple podcast groups, and because of coronavirus, I had a bunch, like 2 months, 3 months worth of bands and comedians that were coming through touring town. So I reached out to the local comedy store and I was like, well, all the guests that come in here, if you put in the contract to allow me to have like an hour with them, I'll give you guys, the footage and the audio, rep you guys, and then give you the video that you can use to promote, on your stuff, which always helps. And it's all free. So every time a comedian came in, I got there. With the local venue, same things, or I'd just reach out, like I reached out to you guys, to the bands. So they can either come in studio. I got 5 bedrooms, so everyone has a room if they want, plenty of space, bonfire out back. It's just easier than, I don't know if you guys have gotten this, but a fan will be like, hey, come stay at my place. I got plenty of room. And you show up, it's like a 1-bedroom apartment, and you got to try and fit 7 people in there. I actually have enough space, for everyone. They can do the podcast. Like, all the venues are like 20 minutes from my house. And then you get a good breakfast, free food, drinks, whatever you need. But,
we come through your town, man.
There, right?
We'll be there.
We'll actually just come out there now for a little vacay.
The fire pit?
oh, yeah. Well, I want to dig another one right now. It's like raised above level, but I'm trying to do the whole digging it, putting the sand in, the rocks in, putting the stone around, making it big. What I think will be really cool by the time you guys get here is, I've been seeing this online with coronavirus. Everyone's been buying up those inflatable or like those big screens and getting like, now that projectors are like cheap as hell, doing like a backyard movie theater setup.
Yeah.
Our buddy does that.
Yeah. So I want to try and have that available too. So we can have like the bonfire right there and the screen, everyone watch.
That'll be a great time, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying to build a fire pit over here too, so if you DIY it, send us some tips.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we need to learn how to do that.
So what I was thinking about doing is, there's a lot of, excuse me, didn't want to burp into the microphone. There's a lot of quarries out by me. I don't know if it's illegal or not, because it is just public property, and there's a lot of stones and there's a lot of flat ones too. So I was thinking about just going at like 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, especially now with all the stuff going on, and just sneaking up to a quarry with my Jeep and just loading a bunch of stone in there and then driving off.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I don't know if quarries are a big West Coast thing.
You guys probably don't have any, huh?
My hometown, jumping, and it was massive.
I guess we get rocks from the beach.
Yeah, quarries are funny. Usually those are places where rich people build houses around, which I don't understand why.
It's always like that. Actually, that makes a ton of sense for in my town.
Yeah. Yeah, Boston I can see being the same way.
I'm like right outside of Boston, and like the rich neighborhood is right around the quarry.
Yeah. And it's everywhere. And I don't know why rich people like quarries. It's not like a lake. You can't take a boat out on it. And usually half the time a quarry is just like stone with water in it, and half the time it's like sewage water, I thought.
I mean, I'm surprised they want their kids even near it. Like it's like super dangerous to jump off of.
Oh, yeah.
And shit, and like people would fall and like just land on their back and like break their fucking neck. So they're pretty brutal. I don't know why you'd want your kid growing up next to that thing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I know, I've worked for Ballyhoo, and you guys have a single out with them, right? With Howie?
Yeah, with Howie.
How was that?
That was great, man. We had the idea that we wanted to feature on that one, and I don't really know how it came together. I think one of our producers, Trevor Dana, reached out to him. Or did we ask Assad maybe?
He did it at.
He did it on the cruise?
Ooh, Assad.
I think
he did it here in California, here at Kona Town. So yeah, I think we asked Assad about it, and luckily Howie was down.
No, I mean Dana. Did he ask Howie? Because I remember seeing Dana. We did the Ballyhoo cruise up in Boston.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I just reached out to Assad.
Okay. So I saw Dana. One thing that you had already left for the West Coast, but I see Dana a lot up north when we do those Ballyhoo shows up there, and he's great too. Is it weird or different having kind of two minds? Because I know he's a producer, helps write some stuff, and I think you have another person you kind of work with on this coast as well. Is it different having like the live aspect of it on the West Coast and then integrating it along with the other ideas east?
Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, we spitball ideas back and forth. A lot of times, like they'll come up with an idea and then we build off it. But and then eventually we have to figure out how the fuck we're gonna play it live.
Right.
It's an interesting process. I mean, we're definitely like getting a better feel for it. I mean, it makes it easier now in this age because we can send like little ideas that we record back and forth in like literally seconds, you know, with the internet and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So it makes it better. But I think overall it helps because, you know, there's definitely a chain of command, but like we have, you know, everybody's mind on it. We have everybody putting their input in. So you get the best of what anyone can come up with.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, Dana's a master songwriter, especially the newest record that we're working on. He has a ton of great ideas, so he'll shoot them over, and I think me and Jeremy usually kind of listen to them, and then we'll take up parts that we like. I'll do like a scratch vocal over, and then kind of go from
there. And eventually, at the end of the process, everybody ends up, you know, with their input and with their playing and with their parts onto the album, which is good. So
yeah, man, you guys are just great guys, and I think obviously the best is yet to come with you. I don't want to keep you too much longer because we've probably been going about an hour and a half or so, but there's so much more I want to talk about. But is there anything else in general that you guys want to promote or kind of give fans a way to check you out other than, you know, kind of the things that we were talking about, especially with everything going on?
Yeah, I mean, check us out on Spotify. Obviously, all of our music's there. We got the Live from Conatown series still going on. I think we've dropped 2 already. Dropping another one in a couple weeks or so. Just social media, Instagram, check out all of our videos, and just you know, all the support's great.
When people ask us where can I find your music, I just ask them, where do you listen to music? And they'll be like, oh yeah, we're on there. So, you know, wherever you listen to music, just look up Cydeways because we got our new album out on Spotify, iTunes, and like Dustin said, we have the Conatown videos coming out. We're gonna start doing a lot more kind of in-house stuff like live streams, little acoustic videos, just because, you know, we can't do anything else right now.
Right.
And that's about it, I guess.
Cool. And then right now on the screen, people can see I have your store up. A lot of cool designs here. I love your thing. One thing I like about you guys too is your branding. It's very clean. You know, people can be too flashy sometimes, and I think you guys just have set the right mood for like the kind of style you are and the kind of band you are as well.
Totally. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's awesome.
That's kind of what we're going for. That's
that's exactly what we're going for.
Too crazy, nothing too flashy. Something that you actually want to wear. You know, we're not really trying to like throw our name out there in space like any way we can. Actually kind of.
I never like clothing with the big logo and all the stuff. So I think like the simple way is the way to go.
Yeah, that's why I got like the single logo right here on the side, smaller instead of like right in the middle. You know.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love your stuff. You have some great merch as well, dude.
Yeah, you know what's weird is I don't really give a shit about social media numbers or anything like that because I'm a management group. You know, it's weird to me when people are like bands are interested in working with me or they'll reach out to me and they're like, you don't have a lot of followers. I'm like, well, I'm not a band, you know. I'm not supposed to have a lot of followers. I'm supposed to be helping bands behind the scenes. Like, I think what separates me or what speaks to what I'm doing is what I do behind the scenes.
I think we don't have enough people in the world right now like you who don't care about followers.
Yeah, it's
things
sad
like that. That's where the real people are. That's where the real talent is.
Yeah, I mean, people get shows when they have like 20K followers, but they can barely play their own song.
Well, it's funny. They'll have like 27K followers and only 23 people like their posts, which says a lot more, you know, than having someone that only has 600 followers, but 500 of them like their post. You know what? You guys already work with different people and have a great team, but obviously I'm always here as a friend, just as a third opinion, you know, a sixth band member, just to, you know, give you any secondary opinions on anything you guys ever have. But I love what you're doing, man. And if there's any chance for me to help in any ways, whether it be a place to stay, even just reposting something that you guys have going on.
We appreciate you, man. This has been
thanks so much for having us on, and appreciate that you've been such a big fan of us. That's great, man. Thank you so much.
Stay safe out there. Wash your hands, I guess, all that other good stuff. And I look forward to seeing the rest of that series come out. And we'll talk soon, man. We'll see you when you guys come east.
Thanks so much, Josh.
It's good. Thanks, buddy.